The divorce papers hit the kitchen counter with a slap that echoed like a gunshot in my skull. My wife, Claire, stood across from me, her arms crossed, her eyes cold as the November rain streaking the windows behind her. "You have 48 hours to get your things out," she said, her voice low, venomous, each word slicing through the air. "My new life starts then, and you're not part of it." I stared at the papers, the black ink blurring as my pulse thundered in my ears. The kitchen, our kitchen, with its chipped blue mugs and the faint smell of burnt toast from this morning, felt alien, like I'd stumbled into someone else's life. "Claire." I managed my throat tight. "What the hell is this? What's going on?" My hands trembled as I reached for the documents, half expecting them to burn my fingers. She didn't answer. Instead, she turned, her boots clicking on hardwood as she walked toward the hallway. The silence she left behind was heavier than her words. I stood frozen, the papers crinkling under my grip, my mind racing to replay the last weeks, months, searching for cracks I'd missed. Had her late nights at the office been lies? The way she'd laughed off my questions about her new perfume, the one that clung to her like a stranger's touch, had that been a clue? My chest tightened, a cocktail of dread and denial churning inside me. The papers were real, though. Petitioner, Claire Marie Ellison. Respondent, Daniel James Ellison. Grounds for divorce, irreconcilable differences. But it was the handwritten note clipped to the top that gutted me. "I can't pretend anymore. You'll understand soon enough." No signature, just her looping cursive, sharp and final. I sank into a chair, the wood creaking under my weight. The house was too quiet, the kind of quiet that amplifies every thought until they scream. Claire was upstairs, probably packing, or maybe calling him, whoever he was. My mind conjured a faceless man, someone smoother, wealthier, better than me in ways I couldn't fathom. I wanted to storm up there, demand answers, but my legs felt like lead. What if she looked at me with pity? Or worse, nothing at all? The clock on the wall ticked toward 7 p.m. Each second a reminder of the 48-hour countdown she'd given me. I flipped through the papers, scanning for something, anything, to explain this. No mention of another man, no explicit confession, but the absence of details felt deliberate, like she was dangling a truth just out of reach. My phone buzzed on the counter, and I lunged for it, hoping it was her, ready to talk. It wasn't. A text from my brother. "You okay? Claire just posted a cryptic quote on X about new beginnings." "What's up?" My stomach lurched. I opened X, scrolling to Claire's profile. There it was, posted an hour ago. "Sometimes you have to let go to find what's real." #new chapter. The vagueness was a knife twist. I scrolled further, my thumb trembling. A photo from last week. Her at a rooftop bar, smiling, her hair catching the city lights. The caption, "Feeling alive." I hadn't been there. She'd said it was a work event. The comments were innocuous, but one stuck out. A heart emoji from a guy named Marcus Reed. I clicked his profile. Private. No bio. Just a grainy photo of a man in sunglasses, smirking. My breath hitched. Marcus. The name felt like a splinter under my skin. I'd heard it before, hadn't I? A coworker she'd mentioned in passing? Or was I inventing connections, my mind desperate to piece together a puzzle with half the pieces missing? I set the phone down, my hands clammy. The kitchen smelled faintly of her lavender hand cream. A scent that used to comfort me but now felt like a taunt. I wandered upstairs, the stairs creaking underfoot, each step heavier than the last. Her office door was ajar, light spilling into the hallway. I pushed it open, my heart pounding. Claire wasn't there, but her laptop was open, the screen glowing. I hesitated, guilt prickling at my conscience. Snooping wasn't me, but the woman I'd loved for 8 years had just handed me an ultimatum to erase our life together. I needed answers. The laptop was unlocked, a rare lapse for her. Her email was open, a message half written to someone named Marcus. I told him tonight. It's done. I'm ready. My vision tunneled, the words searing into me. I scrolled up, my fingers shaking. Their correspondence stretched back months. Innocent at first, work-related, then shifting. "You make me feel seen," she'd written in June. "I haven't laughed like that in years," he'd replied. By August, it was "I can't stop thinking about you." My knees buckled, and I gripped the desk to stay upright. Each email was a betrayal, small at first, then brazen. Dinner plans she'd never mentioned. A weekend trip she'd called a conference. The pieces clicked together, each one a blow to the life I thought we had. But the worst was a photo attachment from 2 weeks ago. Claire and a man, Marcus I assumed, on a beach, her head on his shoulder, the sunset painting them in gold. She looked happy, happier than she'd been with me in years. I heard the front door open downstairs, and my heart stopped. Dan. Claire's voice called, tentative, like she wasn't sure she wanted me to answer. I closed the laptop, my hands shaking, and stepped into the hallway. She was at the foot of the stairs, her coat damp from the rain, her eyes wary. "What are you doing up there?" she asked, her tone sharp. "Who's Marcus?" The words slipped out before I could stop them, raw and jagged. Her face paled, just for a second, before she schooled it into something neutral. "Marcus is a colleague," she said, too quickly, her voice steady but her fingers tightening on her purse strap. "Why are you asking? Don't lie to me." My voice cracked, anger and hurt colliding. "I saw the emails, Claire. The photo. The beach. You told me you were in Chicago for work." Her lips parted, but no words came. For the first time in years I saw her falter, the confident mask slipping. "You went through my laptop?" she said, her voice rising, deflecting. "That's low even for you." "Low." I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. "You're throwing away our marriage and I'm the one who's low? Tell me the truth. Are you in love with him?" She looked away, her jaw tight, the silence louder than any confession. Rain pattered against the windows, the only sound in the house. My chest ached, like something vital had been carved out. "How long?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. 6 months, she said finally, her eyes meeting mine, defiant but glistening with something like guilt. "It wasn't planned, Dan. It just happened. He listens to me. He sees me. You stopped doing that a long time ago." Her words landed like a punch, not because they were cruel, but because they held a shard of truth. I'd been distracted, consumed by work, assuming our marriage was a constant that didn't need tending. But that didn't justify this. "So you lied," I said, my voice shaking. "You let me think we were fine while you built a new life with him." "I tried to talk to you," she snapped, stepping closer. "I tried for years. You were always too busy, too tired. I was lonely, Dan. Marcus was there." I wanted to scream, to shake her, to beg her to take it back. Instead, I stood there, the weight of her words pressing me into the ground. "And the divorce?" I asked. "Was that his idea too?" "No," she said, softer now. "That was mine. I can't live half a life anymore." The hallway seemed to shrink, the walls closing in. I thought of the beach photo, her smile, the way she'd looked at him. I thought of our wedding, her hand in mine, the vows we'd meant. "What happens now?" I asked, hating how small I sounded. "You leave," she said, her voice steady again. "You take your things and you go. I need to move on." I nodded, numb, as she brushed past me, her shoulder grazing mine. The scent of her perfume lingered, a cruel reminder of what was already gone. I stood there alone, the divorce papers still downstairs, the clock still ticking. But as I turned to leave, I saw her phone on the hall table, buzzing with a new message. The screen lit up. "Marcus. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Our new chapter starts now." My blood ran cold. Tomorrow. Not in 48 hours. She'd lied again, shaving a day off my sentence, already rewriting our ending. I grabbed the phone, my thumb hovering over the screen. I could confront her, demand more answers, but what would it change? The truth was already out, sharp and unyielding. Instead, I set it down and walked to the guest room, my footsteps heavy. I had 24 hours left in this house, maybe less in her heart. But as I lay on the cold sheets, staring at the ceiling, a new resolve flickered through the pain. I wouldn't just disappear. Not yet. Tomorrow, I'd find Marcus. I'd look into the eyes of the man who'd stolen my life. And then, I'd decide what kind of ending this story deserved.